The Lighthouse Keeper's Secret, Part 1. On the northern coast of Greywind Bay, where the sea looks more like shifting black glass than water, the old lighthouse still stands, tall, rusted, and leaning slightly forward like it's trying to listen to something below. Locals say the waves sound different out there. They move different. They whisper. For decades, the man who kept that whispering sea at bay was Elias Hargrove, the last official lighthouse keeper in the region. A quiet, stubborn man who believed in routine and feared nothing except the dark. Not the normal kind, but the kind that came from the ocean itself. Elias kept detailed logs, every day, every shift, every night. The logbooks were his life. But 3 months ago, the final entry was different. It was shorter, shaking, written almost like a warning. 10:33 p.m., the light flickered again. The ocean responded. If the light goes out, don't look at the water. Not even once. No one knew what he meant. The next morning, Elias was gone. A young investigator named Lena Ward was sent by the Coastal Authority to retrieve the logbooks and close the lighthouse permanently. It was supposed to be a simple job. She approached the lighthouse by boat, bundled against the icy wind. The waves slapped the hull rhythmically, too rhythmically, like they were keeping time. She radioed dispatch. Arriving at the old Greywind Lighthouse. Weather is calm. Seas unusually calm. Static crackled back. Only static. She frowned, turned the radio off, and stepped on the corroded metal platform beneath the lighthouse. The structure groaned under her weight. The door was already open. Not broken. Just open. Inside smelled like seawater and cold metal. Lena clicked on her flashlight. Only 2 things sat on the table. Elias's final logbook and a lantern still burning. Even though it should have died days ago. She touched the glass. Warm. Fresh. Lena opened the logbook expecting neat handwriting. Instead, the first page was covered in frantic scribbles. Pieces of words. Arrows pointing toward the sea. Long scratch marks pressed, so hard the pen nearly tore the paper. One line repeated dozens of times. IT rises when the light fades. Lena shivered. She flipped to the last complete entry, written not by a frightened old man, but by a precise, disciplined keeper. A ship passed at 3:17 a.m. No record. No lights. No sound. It drifted, not sailed. The ocean pulled toward it like breath. When I turned the lighthouse beam on it, the ship vanished. She read the next lines. Sometimes I think the ocean watches back. A sound echoed upstairs. Something dragging. Slow. Wet. Deliberate. Lena froze. She lifted her flashlight and followed the winding stairs upward. Every step creaked. The dragging sound grew louder, not above her but around her, like something inside the walls. She whispered to herself. Probably just rust, an old pipe, an animal, anything normal. But she didn't believe it. Halfway up, the lighthouse lantern above her flickered, sending shadows spinning. The ocean roared outside, but not like waves crashing. More like footsteps. Dozens of them, walking in shallow water. Lena swallowed hard and continued climbing. When she reached the top platform, she saw the lighthouse lamp spinning slowly, barely producing enough light to push back the darkness. The keeper's coat still hung from the hook, but the window glass facing the ocean was cracked outward, as if something inside had hit it. Lena stepped closer. There were fingerprints on the glass, but they were too long, too thin, too many joints, and the prints were wet. She aimed her beam at the dark water far below. It shimmered strangely, not with moonlight. The moon was behind clouds. The water was glowing, faint. Shifting blue lines moved beneath the surface like veins. Lena whispered, "What the hell?" The light inside the lighthouse flickered again. The glow in the ocean responded immediately, pulsing brighter. Her radio crackled to life suddenly. A voice she didn't recognize whispered, "Keep the light on." Static. Silence. Then footsteps. Behind her. She spun around. Nothing. Footsteps again. Closer, but the platform was empty. She backed up quickly right into the window. The cracked glass groaned behind her. Then she heard it, a gurgling breath. Not from the stairs, not from outside, from the glass. She turned. Her own reflection stared back at her, but not alone. Something long and black moved behind her reflection, tall, skeletal, bending unnaturally as if made of water instead of bone. It reached toward her reflection. The lighthouse light dimmed, and the thing smiled even though it had no mouth. The reflection's mouth moved even though hers didn't. A voice seeped out from the cracked pane. He turned off the light, and I took him. You must not make the same mistake. Lena stumbled backward toward the lantern. The tower shook. The ocean roared. The glowing lines beneath the water rose, like something massive was approaching the surface. She grabbed the lantern and fueled it. The flames surged. Instantly, the reflection vanished. The ocean glow dimmed. The tower stopped shaking. Breathing heavily, Lena realized the light didn't protect the sea from people. The light protected people from the sea. She whispered. Elias wasn't keeping ships safe. He was keeping something in. Lena scanned the room. A small metal box sat hidden beneath the control panel. She opened it. Inside was a single cassette tape labeled, "If found, do not listen." She popped it into her handheld recorder. Static. Then Elias's voice. I kept the light burning for years. But last night, something called my name from the water. When I dimmed the lamp to check the lens, it climbed the tower. Lena pressed the tape closer to her ear. Elias whispered, "It knows when you're alone." Suddenly, the tape cut to a different sound. Not Elias. Something scraping, climbing, wet footsteps, ascending metal stairs. The same sound she had heard. Elias gasped on the tape. It's inside. Then a final whisper. Don't let the light die. The recording ended. A shadow passed behind Lena. She turned. Nothing. Then she looked at the window. Fingerprints appeared on the glass. Fresh ones. The lantern flickered again. The ocean glowed brighter. The tower groaned like something was pushing against it from below. Lena rushed to the controls to brighten the lighthouse beam, but the power lever jammed. The light dimmed more. A long, slow knocking echoed from the stairwell. Knock, knock, knock. Lena aimed her flashlight. A shape stood halfway down the stairs. Human-like, tall, soaking wet. It leaned forward, dripping. Its voice sounded like water dragging over rocks. Lightkeeper? She stepped back. No. You're not Elias. The creature tilted its head. He kept the light. Now you will keep it, or join him beneath the black water. The lantern flame sputtered. The ocean roared up the cliff. The tower shook again. The creature stepped higher. Lena lunged at the lever with all her strength. It snapped upward. The lighthouse beam exploded with blinding light. The creature shrieked, twisting violently, its form rippling like boiling water. It staggered back down the stairs, dissolving into mist. The ocean glow dimmed. Silence. Finally, silence. Hours later, rescue boats spotted the lighthouse blazing brighter than it had in 50 years. When they reached it, they found Lena on the top platform, staring out at the sea. Her expression was blank. Calm. Too calm. She simply said, "The light must stay on." When they tried to escort her away, her eyes darkened. If it goes out, they will rise again. The rescuers left the lighthouse lit all night, but when they returned the next morning, Lena was gone. Only her voice remained on the recorder. I see them now, every night, waiting, listening. If the light dies, so does everything else. Stay locked into Storytelling and Mysteries channel.